I am 21 years old. I have no college degree, as most of you guys know. I make more money each year online than most doctors hope to make out there. I'm completely debt free, and in about a week or so, I'm going to be moving down to my dream high-rise apartment in downtown Brickell, Miami. And I say none of that to brag because literally less than a year ago, as you guys have seen on the channel, I was just like you guys and I had no clue where to start. And so the only thing that took me from complete zero, from not knowing where to start, from wondering how the fuck can I get rich online, to where I am now is one simple thing. And that is understanding that dumber people than you are getting so rich online, it's not even funny. Once again, as you guys have seen on the channel, you can go back to my first ever video, go into my YouTube, click on the oldest tab right at the top left. You will see my first video. It's the video where I was making less than $1,000 per month. I was a scared little kid and I had just dropped out of college wondering how the fuck am I gonna make this work, okay? How am I gonna figure this out? How am I gonna crack the code and actually get rich at a young age? And if you watch far back enough on this channel, you will also know that I started everything I currently do out of my parents' house. As you guys can see, that's where I am right now. I am not special. I do not have a high IQ. I wasn't born talented. I'm honestly a little bit retarded. I'm kind of on the spectrum, as you guys have seen, and I still was able to get rich at a young age. The crazy part about being in a position like the one you're probably in and the one I was in a year ago is you can look at people like myself or other people who are even making more money than me, right? I have close friends who make, six figures, multiple six figures profit every single month. You can look at people like us and you can do two things. Number one, you can either cope. You can either tell yourself that people like us are talented. We have something that you don't. We have a high IQ. We had money handed to us. Whatever kind of excuse you want to make, you can keep making that to yourself and that can prevent you from taking action. Or option number two, you can have the epiphany moment that you need to have, that right now, it has never, ever, ever in the history of the world been easier to make a shit ton of money online with pretty much no risk up front. And let me explain. Nowadays, you can get started in online business with absolutely zero skills, with zero prior experience, with zero startup capital. And you can pretty much take on zero risk and learn all these skills from people like myself for free. Just think about what you would have to do if you wanted to make money before the internet was a thing. You would probably have to ask your friends and family for money. You'd have to take out a huge loan from the bank, start some crazy startup company where you have to make the next innovative product, or you're either going to go bankrupt and literally be broke for the rest of your life. That's what the stakes were. You literally had to put your balls on the table and say, fuck it, if you wanted to make money before the internet existed, before 2025. It's also never been more important to get rich than right now. And let me explain. Earlier today, I was sitting in my kitchen and I was watching a sales call recording from one of the offers that I help run and that I help manage in this info product space, right? And so my closer, one of the closers we work with, was talking to this prospect who was about 30 years old. It was a girl and she lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, okay? And I was watching her tell my closer how she was working a nursing job during the day and a bartending job at night, working damn near 40, 50, 60, almost 80 hours a week to bring home $10,000 a month. Now, here's the catch. Out of that $10,000 a month, she was profiting a grand total of 10% of that. She was profiting $1,000 a month for all that work she was doing and all that time that she was trading for the money she was receiving. And so she was in a bad spot and she was looking for something to change her life. Okay, and what did she turn to? She turned to online business. And what do every single one of the closers we work with, what is one question that they always ask our prospects? And it is this: why out of all times do you feel like right now is the best time for you to get started? Why have you not tried something like this in the past? And why are you all of a sudden trying to get started right now? And do you know what she told our closer? This is what she said. She said, I am just fed up. I have had this epiphany moment. I have had this moment in my life where I am done sitting in traffic for 2 hours a day in Miami. I'm done working two jobs. I'm 30 years old. I don't have many years left to try to get rich. Okay. And it is time to utilize something like the internet, get into something like e-commerce, and it is time to actually take action on the goals I have rather than sit there and cope and make excuses as to why other people are getting rich and you aren't. And now is the time to try to get rich. Shout out to this lady. She piffed. It seems like she's going to kill it inside of this e-commerce offer. But guess what? Guess what the sad thing is about this lady? She is 30 years old. Let's just say things go well for her. She gets rich within the next 3 years. Well, guess what? She got rich at 33. And hey, some of you guys might think that's young. Maybe, I guess she still has a good amount of time to live out and enjoy her freedom of being rich, not having to sit in traffic anymore, and basically being unshackled from her horrible jobs that she has to work. But guess what? You watching this right now, you don't have to wait until you're 30 to have this epiphany moment that you need to get rich right now. Okay? You can look at guys online who are already rich. Guys like myself, my friends, you can look at, there's a million people making money online. Okay? And you can look at them and understand that you are no different than them. You are no different than us. We share the same skin. We share the same blood. We might look a little different. We might talk a little different. But overall, we are the fucking same. And guess what? Me, my friends, everybody else online, we are no smarter than you guys. You can use people like us as inspiration. Let me tell you, every single excuse you tell yourself as to why you can't start the business, why you can't post a piece of content, why you can't go after the things that you want to go after in life, every single time you do that, you inch closer toward that reality of waking up at 30 years old, having that epiphany moment that you need to take action now. You're old as fuck. You're almost halfway through your life. You literally spent almost half of your life sitting around making excuses and doing fuck all because you were too afraid to start right now. You kept finding the excuse that the people you see online who are rich have something that you don't. And fundamentally, what this coping boils down to is you are afraid to try something new. You are afraid to have no idea what you're doing, and you're afraid that you don't know where to start, and you have to try to figure it all out by yourself. And I get it. Trust me, I've been there. Like I said, go watch the first video on my YouTube channel. That was literally me in that video. No clue where to start, just trying to figure it the fuck out. And yeah, it's scary. It's not fun. But let me tell you, that feeling never goes away. In fact, it is the people who can willingly seek out this feeling of feeling small, not knowing what the fuck you're doing. That is how you actually get rich at a young age. That is how retarded people like myself can get rich at a young age. I remember back in high school, my high school days when I used to play soccer in high school, I remember I was like the skinniest kid on the team. I was maybe 105 pounds in high school. As crazy as that might seem, I know. I got a little bit bigger since then. Not that big, I'm honestly just joking, but I have come a long way. But anyways, I remember back in high school when I was the scrawniest kid on the team. And I remember the first day of the high school weights class, picking up the bar on the bench press, my arms literally shaking while the team is, huddled around everybody watching people go hit this bench press. I remember how embarrassing that felt. I remember how I felt like I had no clue what the fuck I was doing. I had never stepped foot in a gym. Nobody had ever taught me, how to, what form to use in the gym. Nobody had ever taught me how to lift weights. But guess what? I remember kids on the team would literally make comments. People would laugh. People would literally not take me serious because I didn't have a clue about what the fuck I was doing. But guess what? That feeling lasted for maybe the first 5 days of that weights class, okay? And by the end of those 5 days, it's not like by the end of the first 5 days, I was jacked and I was this new person. No, big transformations take a much longer time than that. It took me years to get to where I am now. But by the end of those first 5 days, guess what? When I went to hit the bench press in front of everybody, my arms shook a little less. I had gotten used to the way people would look at me. I had gotten used to the way it felt to be under all that pressure and to not be able to perform and to be the weakest on the team. I understood what it felt like. And guess what? It didn't fucking hurt that bad. Nobody actually really gave a fuck. It was all in my own head. And guess what? By like the 10th weight session in, I literally wasn't even thinking about it. And fast forward years later, I'm honestly in better shape than most of the kids who were on my fucking team in the first place. And that's no diss to them, but that's just to make a point that like your ability, your willingness to take on new things, your willingness to adopt that feeling of being way in over your head, not knowing what the fuck you're doing, jumping in the deep end before you even feel like you can swim, your willingness to do that and to seek out that feeling of feeling small, feeling like the guy who, feeling embarrassed, like the guy who doesn't know what you're doing, your willingness to do that and get started as fast as possible is the only thing that can make you rich. In fact, it's the only thing standing between where you are right now and how rich you want to be. Going from 0 to 10K a month took that same thing. It took starting a business when I had no clue what I was doing. It took picking up a camera and filming videos when I had no clue what the fuck to say, when I didn't have any confidence behind the words I was saying. And guess what? Going from 20K a month to 100K a month feels the same. It feels the same when I'm in an ads manager that I've never used before and I'm using a client's money to try to, run these ads that I've never run before. It feels the same thing. I'm telling you, this feeling never goes away. The only thing that separates the people you look up to online, the people maybe like myself, maybe like my friends who you look up to and who are rich online at a young age, the only thing that separates us and you, it is not some IQ level. It's not, some money we were handed by our parents. It's not some talent for content creation or anything like that. The only thing that stands in front of where you are now and where you want to be is your willingness to seek out this feeling. It's to seek out this feeling of feeling small, to have this epiphany moment that you need to get started right now. There is no fucking time to waste, okay? How many years do you want to waste sitting on the sidelines, coping to yourself, making excuses for why you aren't rich? I'm telling you, it is not a good life to live. And if you do not snap out of it, you will end up like the lady in this video. You will end up 30 years old, 40 years old, fuck it, maybe 80 years old on your deathbed wondering, what if I had just stopped being a pussy and I had just started? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All my socials will be in the description if you want to check those out. That's up to you. Please do not underestimate what you guys can do this year, what you guys can accomplish if you start right now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next one.